Good evening, and I'm Karthikeya Sharma, and welcome on this special edition of India's the chairmanship, which is going to be there all over August or throughout the August. And in a couple of hours from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be presiding over the session, and I think it's going to be a very important. He has chosen to preside over a session, which means that there are important issues and a statement which Prime Minister would like to make. Now, the sources have told us very clearly that the Prime Minister is going to speak on couple of important issues, including maritime security and Afghanistan. On this issue, I am joined by my senior colleague and foreign affairs expert, Vishnu Shankar. Vishnu, thank you for joining me on this particular subject. But before I take my questions to Vishnu and ask him to delineate why Prime Minister has chosen to do so, why Prime Minister has chosen to include Afghanistan at United Nations Security Council, in which he is going to speak in a couple of hours from now, India's permanent envoy to UN has outlined the issues which the country is going to touch upon. Let's listen to him.
We have made efforts to bridge the different voices within the Council to ensure that the Council comes together and speaks in one voice on a variety of important issues of the day. This is what we will bring into our presidency. India will be organizing signature events in three major areas: maritime security, peacekeeping, and counter-terrorism. Maritime security has a high priority for us, and it is important for the Security Council to take a holistic approach to this issue. Peacekeeping is a topic close to our hearts, given our own long and pioneering involvement with peacekeeping. We will be focusing on how to ensure the safety of peacekeepers, especially by using better technology, and how to bring perpetrators of crimes against peacekeepers to justice. Further, as a country which has been at the forefront in the fight against terrorism, we will continue to keep the spotlight on counter-terrorism.
So the Prime Minister is going to speak on maritime security, terrorism and security-related issues. But foremost, something which really confronts India as a great challenge is the deteriorating security situation in Afghanistan. Vishnu, let me bring you in on this issue. What are the areas which Prime Minister is going to touch upon? Because United Nations Security Council, after all, is important with 5 members having a veto power. So so it is this much and that much. You can have a voice, you can amplify it, but then the veto counts. But the fact that Prime Minister is going to speak and specifically touch upon Afghanistan, what are the areas you think he is going to touch upon?
Well, thank you, Karthikeya. The Prime Minister will obviously, first of all, forcefully put forth the fact that by its virtue of its long association with the United Nations and India's contribution to United Nations efforts, particularly at peacekeeping, India has earned and established the right to be a permanent member of the Security Council. That's the first thing. Apart from that, as the Indian permanent envoy to United Nations, T.S. Tirumurthy enunciated, maritime security with a special reference to Indo-Pacific peacekeeping, as I just mentioned, and counter-terrorism are going to be the points that the Prime Minister will touch upon forcefully to put forth what India believes about those subjects and ensure that the permanent and the non-permanent members in Security Council speak in one voice on these matters.
But when Prime Minister speaks about Afghanistan, this is happening in wake of the battle which is taking place in the country, where half of the Afghanistan is under Taliban's control. But secondly, Vishnu, what is happening is that you have repeated attempts of assassination, being carried out by Taliban, and then they, breaking every iota of the Doha agreement. So 2 days back, they tried to assassinate the Defense Minister of Afghanistan. Today, they have ended up killing the spokesperson of the Ministry of Interior, and he was killed. The gentleman was assassinated right in front of the Russian embassy, yes. And that too when Russians had called Taliban and other leaders. So what do you make of that?
Well, clearly Taliban is giving out the message that they are very close to Kabul and they can at will try and explode a bomb or assassinate a person. Dawa Khan Menapal, who used to be the presidential deputy spokesperson from 2016 to 2020, was also a former journalist, and he had been propagating the Afghanistan government's point of view to the rest of the world, and he was killed, and Taliban owned up to it. When he came out of the mosque, he was targeted and liquidated. because he was, they said, a propagandist for being the spokesperson of the Afghan government. So you see, there are targeted killings, there is targeted intimidation. In the north, there is intense fighting in Mazar Sharif. The northeastern province of Takhar has fallen. The northern province of Jawzazan, with the capital Sher Bagan, is under threat. 9 out of 10 districts in Jawzazan are under Taliban's control now, and the fighting is on for the control of capital Shebagan. And then you come to northwestern part, Herat. There 13 out of 16 districts are now controlled by Taliban. And obviously in the south, Helmand and Kandahar, you know, they are running riot. The Taliban always had control, and they have actually reinforced their control over those parts of Afghanistan. So basically Taliban, out of 34 provinces, 17 are in serious threat of being run over by Taliban at this moment.
But last question to you, what are the points you think India can press upon with limited avenues available, because Americans have had a deal with Taliban. You know, the former terrorists are being called people. So when the language changes, the people who were perpetrating terrorism, people who sustained Al-Qaeda, organization which has not cut its umbilical cord with Osama bin Laden's group, is now on the talking table with them. They don't respect it. What are the India's choices? What are the choices available to the Indian dispensation now?
Well, very limited ones. India has already said, you see, Russia has just called a conference on Afghanistan. They have invited China, USA and Pakistan, but did not invite India. So India has said that they will be engaging with the Russians at the United Nations. That is the very limited avenue India has at the moment on this issue, sadly. But Pakistan now has the total control of, obviously, Taliban. They don't realize that they're riding a tiger of which they'll find it very difficult to get off. But the fact remains that at this moment, Pakistan is helping Taliban with men, material. Taliban's injured are being treated in Pakistan's hospitals. So Pakistan has the control of Taliban, and therefore the central and southern part of Afghanistan. And in the north, the way it looks, it is only a matter of weeks, maybe a couple of months, before Taliban take total control of most parts of Afghanistan.
Vishnu, thank you for joining us. So this was our special program on the choices which are available to the to India, and the speech which the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be giving in a couple of hours, the address which will be live casted, and he will address the members of United Nations Security Council. So thank you for watching us, and for other news, other developments, keep on watching News 9.